Hey guys, welcome back to Gondomar S.C. It's our fourth season of the save and our second consecutive season in League 2. We've been promoted from the Championship into Liga 3 into League 2, and we came fifth last year. Wasn't able to push entirely for promotion, but let's see what we can do to do it this season. Transfer activity. So we had, similar to last season, we had quite a few players on some minimum fee release clauses, but also some that just wanted to leave. So the biggest loss that we had was Sergio Conceição. This guy was very, very good for us in League 3 and League 2. Basically starting whenever he was available. If he was there, he would start at right back for us. Consecutive average ratings of 7. Not a lot of assists, but he's your right back. He's there to defend and support. So yeah, he left to Lusitania La Rosa for 180k. He's there on a huge mega contract. I think they've got a sugar daddy owner or something because they're in League 3. They're in League 3. They're in League 3 and they're spending 300k a year on a player. Don't know how they're doing it, but good luck to him because he's been very good for us. The other player that left was Francisco Machado. This one was a bit more disappointing, obviously, because he was a very good player, but we were only able to get 50k for him. Again, he left and he's on 300k a year, but he's at Levante and he's their backup. So I'm not entirely sure why I wanted to leave, but money was probably the factor there. We've let a couple of players go on loans. Pedro Santos is out on a free. Coto Reyes is one of our initial players in that first season youth intakes. Looks like he could be a really good player, but he also might not ever reach that potential because look at his mentals, they're terrible. So he's out on loan to get some game time. Nuno Machado, similar deal, good except he's got bad technicals. Marquinhos is a player that we signed in our first ever transfer window. Very good at dribbling and very good technically, but he's just never been able to be anything more than just an average player for us. He's been there since the start. He's played in the Championship, League 3, League 2, and maintained a decent level of performance, but we're not looking for 6.8s anymore. Not looking for an average player. We're looking to get in real good players. So we've let him go on loan, and he's probably going to leave. Alpha Suarez, again, another youth prospect that's out on loan for game time. So the players that came in. So, first of all, I said at the end of last video, this guy might come in, Eloy Arcanjo. This guy absolutely raked in the goals in the lower leagues. So we brought him in as a development asset. Hopefully he can build up the technical and mental abilities there because look at his physicals. They're very, very good. He's very fast. He's balanced. He's composed. He can finish. Let's just hope he puts it all together. Francisco Saldana, good defensive option. Will play ball-winning midfielder or in the center of defense. He's not great, not the best player physically with those 10s, but I mean, he just looks like he'll be a really good squad player for us in getting starts whenever he's available. Molai Silla, now this is a really good pickup. He's been playing in the first league for Aruca, a team we've made a few transfers off. Not the greatest performances, but he's still been playing regularly in that first league. So to pick him up on a free is really, really impressive. He's very, very good, and he's going to be our new starting attacking midfielder. Another signing on the first day of the season was Carlos Villalba, Argentinian defensive midfielder. Again, another good ball-winning defender. We can never have too many of these. So we're hopeful as to see how he performs because he's got his squad status set as a squad player. Yuxel Cicek, hopefully I've got that right. Again, another attacking young talent who's going to be playing in our B team. Another young talent in our B team, Ahmad. I'll leave it at that. He's going to be a defensive option, so he can play defensive midfield or either left back or right back. He's just going to be a squad player to fill in whenever there's injuries or as an option off the bench. And then because with the departure of Conceição, we needed a new starting right back, and we got this guy. This guy looks extremely good for this level. Got him on a 4-year deal, a 4-season deal at 170k. He's only 28. I know if he was 28's getting there. Typically, when you like to invest in youth, as I do, but he looks really good. this guy, he might stay for all those years. We'll see, because his level leading Portugal 2 league, probably if you get promoted, that'll say decent at the top level. So we'll see how that goes. That looks to be a really good signing. Hernani and Funde, that's just an attacking option. Looks as bang average of a player as you can get at this level. Basically 11 in every single attribute. He just could be a bench option or a rotation. Luis Philip, this guy looks quite interesting. He's, I guess, he's a good dribbler. He's got a lot of determination. He's got a lot of flair. Can't finish. Reasonably average first touch and passing. So we'll see how he goes. But we've just got him on loan because you can never have enough depth. And hopefully he plays well. Alex Lucena was an interesting pickup. I probably spent a little bit too much on him. He's a inverted winger slash inside forward from the left side. He also is a natural at the central midfielding position, I believe. Is he? No, he's not a natural, but with some training he could be. I probably spent a little bit too much on him from a wage perspective, but he was putting down some really good average ratings in some lower leagues, so I decided to jump on him. He's Venezuelan, but he is trained in Portugal, which is a big one. Diego Fioli is going to be our new starting goalkeeper. Looks very, very good for this level. Good passing and good handling and aerial reach. So he's got some good attributes. The only one that really concerns me is agility, which you want to be high in a goalkeeper. But we'll see how he goes. He looks to be a very, very good signing for us. And the last one is Thibault Desmet. He's going to be our new starting left back. Yeah, it just looks really good for this level. If you put him on the support role, yeah, what can you say? He just looks really good. So players that left on freeze aren't listed here. So we did, for this left back position, he did come in, and our previous left back, where is he? Armando Lopez is relegated to the bench. This guy has been with us the whole way. We loaned him twice and then bought him. So it's going to be interesting to see how they compete with each other for that left back role, because this guy's been a very good player for us for a long time. So our squad looks like this. If I place us in the, where is it, the reports section, you can see our starting lineup is stacked now. A lot of good players, 3.5-star, 4-star players, and some good options off the bench. The main disappointment I have is that we weren't able to find a better striker to fill that role. We do have two proven strikers at this level, João Victor and Manuel Namora. João Victor scored 20 goals last year, but Manuel Namora scored 12, so they both were able to chip in when they could, and he was able to score 12 goals within the 11 starts. So a lot of those appearances were coming off the bench to score goals, and they were very, very crucial in our good performance. But again, 32-year-old Brazilian and a 27-year-old Portuguese guy that, he's not a overpowering forward. And he's not going to score a great deal of goals. So we have to see how we can improve on this coming up to January or in the January transfer window. Diogo Oliveira, again, he's going to have to be very big for us this season if we are going to hope to get promoted at all. So I'm happy with the squad and where it's at and the players that we've brought in. We've got really good players in our back four and good players in the back four to come off the bench. In defensive midfield, we're really strong. Again, the wingers are strong. We've got a starting first league player that's come down for us to play for us. So I'm really, really hopeful that we can put together some performances. I just think it's going to be hard for us to get promoted with this guy as our starting forward. So we'll need to improve on that. I have played 2 games so far, a draw and a loss, so it's not good signs for us, but it's only 2 games. There's still 32 to go. And being in the League 2 for a second year running, I don't know how it works, but apparently we're in like the League Cup. So this one actually gives out a decent amount of money, so if we can get out of the groups phase, but we're in a group with Porto, so that ain't happening. But anyway, that's the preview of Season 4. I'll go ahead, play the season out, and then I'll see you when I'm finished. Welcome back. Season 4 of Gondomar has finished. And if your eyes scroll over to the left side of the screen, you'll see that we came in second position, which means automatic promotion. Let's see how we did it. So you can see there, that cold start that we were on continued. We lost the next game 4-zip. Went on a roll, 3 wins out of 4. Loss, win, draw, win. Couldn't string a few wins together. We got to the halfway stage. We lost a 5-3 game against FC Porto B. And I really honestly wasn't sure if we were going to challenge for those top 2 spots and get promoted. We went on a really, really cold spell in January, which sparked, and I'll just scroll up there, which sparked a big transfer window because these 4 games proved to me that we weren't going to make it. And if I look at the league positions at about this stage, that was us. We were stuck in 6th and 5th position there. Very, very hard to make an impact from that. So if we look at the transfer window, transfer history, and we go to January, had to make some pivotal signings. So I started with 2 centre backs of all things. We were able to get Alvaro Carrillo on a free from Real Madrid, which was a very, very good pickup because this guy looks very good. Reports say he is a good first league player and could be reports say he could be a decent player, could be a good player, but he is a decent player. Don't know why that was so hard for me to say, but this guy is very, very good. You can see from his average rating. He started every game in the second half of the season for us. His average rating is 7.1, so it's crucial. Second player, these two probably don't get along because this guy's from Barcelona, another central defender, not as good, but still very good depth. The reason why I went in for 2 central defenders is it wasn't like we were leaking goals, but they weren't putting in good performances. Jorge Silva was under 7, Thiago Freire under 7, Anthony Correa under 7. We needed some players to put in some very good performances at the centre back role to help us keep the ball, start those attacking moves, and that's what I got out of these 2 players. Very, very good, and they're also good financial investments because they're younger. Now, these guys were in November. During the first half of the season, I was able to sign this player, Emerson, on a pre-contract. Now, I think the season changed the moment this guy came in through the door. Now, we did draw the first 2 games that he was playing, but what this forced me to do is change up the tactic a little bit and play with some inside forwards. I'll show you the tactic in a moment, but this guy was one of the key reasons why we were able to get promoted. He came in, started 14 games, contributed to 8 goals, average rating is 7.3. We got this guy. This guy looks like a very good prospect, but he didn't impact the first team at all, so I'll leave that for now. Again, a similar signing, good prospect, but wasn't able to wasn't an impact on the first team at all. And on deadline day, a agent offer came across my desk for a certain Mark Guyu, a striker. Now this is what we needed because we weren't able to score a lot of goals in a lot of the games. We were winning a lot of games by 1 goal. So once this guy came across my desk, I hit the trigger, pulled the trigger, got him on loan. Remarkably, a loan with no fee and no wages. So this guy just came for free, turned the season around, 11 goals in 13 games, played every game that he could. Average rating is 7.4. So I'll do everything I can to keep this guy on loan next season for our first season up in the Premier League. But I mean, this was the moment. Him and Emerson were the 2 players that changed the course of our season. Having them in there was invaluable. So in that second half, after drawing 4 out of 5, we basically won almost every game. This was just a unprecedented patch of wins against the top side. Porto B, very tough team. And then it came to the last game, but we'd already gotten promoted. So this could have proved to be a pivotal game had we not won so many of our previous games in the second half. But by the time we got there, we didn't even need to win it. So if we look at the the past positions, the worm, and we put in Gondomar, and then we put in, well, the two teams that missed out, you can see that we started off really poorly, made up for it, but had a little bit of a mid-season rut. And then just that remarkable run at the end, coupled with these two kind of, I guess, these guys falling over each other to get out of the promotion spots really helped us get there. I mean, these guys, this was one of the biggest chokes I've ever seen. At one point, see, these guys were winning almost every game they played, and then last 5 games of the season went from first to third. They still got promoted, but what can I say? Really good performance from this football club. As for the development of our youngsters, I guess I'll spend a moment looking at these guys. Sing, again, in our first youth intake, this guy's developing out to be quite the player. Mentally, if I'm able to remove this, I can't remove it. But this guy just keeps developing. The good part is because our B team is in the championship, he can get game time at a good professional level without having to go out on loan because we want to keep him here. He is wanted on a transfer, but I will not let this guy go. I do not care. He will play 0 games before I let him go. So he's doing very well in his development. Another player that we got was a player that we got for the B team was Francisco Carvalho. Now he's listed as a winger, but I'm going to train him to be a defensive midfielder as a deep line playmaker in the support role. You can see he's very, very good technically. He's got very good balance, and in this role, he doesn't need to be that physical. He just needs to get passes. He needs to receive the ball and dish it out to someone else, and be a playmaker like that. He has very good vision. He's got good leadership, good decisions and composure. So he's only 18. So hopefully this guy, by the time he's 2021, he can be in the first team in the top league doing a job for us. How else are we going? I mean, the progress of a lot of these players is stagnating, except for these two. One guy I want to keep an eye on is Bradley De Jesus. He hasn't really changed all that much since we brought him in. He had a ripper year last season. This season in the championship, he struggled a little bit. But yeah, they're doing okay. The players are doing okay. And they were able to stay in the league. So this will be, again, another key aim every season is to keep these guys in the championship and try and push them towards those top two playoff spots. In the dynamics, got a great club atmosphere. Everyone's happy, except for a couple people. So yeah, can't complain about where we're going. The top league is going to be a very, very good challenge, but one we have to meet head on. We're going to have to make a few changes to the squad. Hopefully not that many changes in defense because we've got these two really good central defenders now. And we've organized some transfers in, which I won't highlight until the next episode, but we're looking good. That's what I could say. We are tipped for relegation for next season, given that the board wants us to attempt to avoid relegation. So that's the goal. Just avoid those bottom 3 spots. Avoid these bottom 3 spots at all costs. So as for the tactic, yes, I did mention I would go through that. So at that halfway point, it was becoming really, really frustrating to see the team playing the way they were. I think it may have had something to do with the match engine update. Wingers became just utterly useless. They couldn't assist or score goals. So I moved from wingers to inside forwards, and the team just transformed in a couple of games. Capitas was playing on the right side as a winger, but we've moved him to the left. He had a bit of a middling season, 6.9 rating, but he is a very good player, so we're just going to keep at it with him. Again, we would have Emerson on that right side as an inside forward, jumping onto that left foot. As for how the players went, I'll just briefly show you the selection info so we can go over the stats. again, a lot of players, like almost a full 11 made out of players who got above 7, which is always a really good thing to see. The goals came from a number of different positions. Even Eloy here, our young striker that we signed at the start of the season, was able to jump in with 12 goals. Granted, a lot of them were from the cup, so 7 goals in the league. He, as soon as I dropped him in the league, he scored like 6 goals in 3 games and then just couldn't find the net. So we had to drop him, and that's why we signed Mark Guiu. And our other 2 strikers, um, where is he? Manuel Nomura and João Victor. We just couldn't afford to give them any more games because they weren't putting out the numbers that we wanted. Like 20 appearances, 5 goals. That won't get the job done. So yeah, standout performances from the 2 players that we brought in the second half. Justin Bakker just continues to be a very, very good player for us. Mole Silla, average rating of 7.25 in his first season at the club. We're going back to the top league where he belongs. And then the final issue that we came across was Diego Foley. Now, he was supposed to be a very, very good keeper. He made this average rating of 7 is really, really just misleading. He had so many goals just go through his legs, or little daisy cutters that were sent to the goal that he couldn't save. So he got an injury in the beginning of the second half, and then I began to give all of our starts in the second half to Vanderland, who just played out of his skin. He's an emergency backup 2-star player, but he was amazing. I cannot give this guy enough credit. It says he belongs in the championship, but I'll give him a start in the top league. That's what he deserves. So we're going to see if we can shift Diego in the off-season, because he looks like he should be a really good keeper. I think it's his communication and agility which are letting him down, because he simply cannot save. He cannot be between the sticks in the first division. So we're going to look to improve on this position if we can. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Really good season, really chuffed to go up, and I'm looking forward to the next season with Gondomar S.C. So thanks for watching.